the lecture just goes on forever and ever and never ends. Have you ever seen a speech that's so confusing, so messy, that you don't even know what he's talking about? I get it. I understand. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
I've been debating for 5 years now, and I've seen it all. Amazing speeches where you just can't stop listening, holding on to your seat, wanting more. And horrible speeches that just makes you want to shoot yourself in the head. But I get it. With only 30 minutes to prepare, with only a brain, a pen, and a few pieces of paper, how do you write a speech that lasts for 7 minutes? How do you do it? How do you start, let alone write an amazing speech? My coach taught me 3 simple steps. As long as you keep these 3 simple steps, you will never go wrong. Step number 1, focus on the message and the objective. Now, everybody loves to talk, whether it's with your family, your friends, or your cat. We can talk for hours on end, but what separates speaking and chatting? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the message. Whether it's to inspire people to take action, to inform them of a new amazing discovery, or just to give a simple and wonderful advice, you need to have a message, something that the audience can take home with them so that it's worth their while. Now comes to step number 2. You have your objective. You have your message. Now it's time for you to never limit yourself. Brainstorm your ideas. When you start writing, how many times have you thought in your head, no, that's not going to work. No, that's a lousy point. But no, write it down. Write everything that comes into your mind down. Don't stop your creative flow. Because if you do that, you'll end up being narrow-minded, thinking of only the obvious points. But I assure you, once you write everything down, and once that idea stops flowing, only then do you start looking at those points, building it up, and thinking, what best suits my objective? You'd be surprised at how many times those insignificant points in your head turns out to be your best and most creative points. Which brings us to number 3. Always bring it back. How many times have we talked with our friends for hours on end, then yet realize, how do we even get to this topic in the first place? How did we go from talking about our essay into cats? That's because we are smart people. Every one of us are smart. We're too smart, in fact. That every time something interesting pops out in our head, we have to go and talk about it. But we have to remember the message, the objective. If it doesn't relate, even if it's a very interesting topic, but it poses no relevance to your message, then leave it out. It's not important. The message is the most important thing. Even if your speech is amazing, filled with amazing facts, at the end of the day, if no one knows what you're talking about, then it's useless. Your message hasn't gotten through. Bring your best points into your message. Hit it hard. And at the end of the day, if it resonates with the crowd, then you have achieved your objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, in your speeches, it's not for ourselves to write. Writing a speech is different from talking. Because when you talk, you're talking about yourself. But when you write a speech, you're giving something to the audience. So never give, would you like to give a present, neatly packed, with something beautiful inside? Or would you rather just take out a few crumpled pieces of paper, throw them in their laps, and expect them to understand what it is you're trying to give them? Therefore, remember the 3 easy steps, ladies and gentlemen. First step, focus on the objective. Remember what's important and what is it that you want to give the audience. Because that is what they'll take home the most. Step number 2, never limit yourself. Always keep an open mind on what it is that you want to give the audience. Always keep in mind that anything could happen when you write a speech. Anything could be possible. It could be an interesting point. Don't give up. Never create those barriers that prevents you from being the best you are. And thirdly, always bring it back. Always remember, why is it that you are speaking in the floor today? Why is it you're talking to the audience? And that, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember these 3 simple steps, I guarantee you that you will never ever have a bad speech. Back to you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Julius.